Very
Or just
true.
if you see
Might be
them go
seeing
Terran.
cheese.
Here we go, Terran versus Terran.
One of the things I've seen
spawning
Terran do a
as-
lot with when they're inexperienced is they'll wall off, and I play Protoss, so wall offs kind of hurt me a little bit, and they'll wall off and just build up so many siege tanks that I cannot break through easily.
Panda is spawning as Terran.
Now, interesting thing in Terran versus Terran, where one of the players is random, is you have to make a decision as a Terran player whether or not you want to wall off. Because, I mean, 2/3 of the time you wall off and the opponent is either Zerg or Protoss, and you're like, okay, I'm happy I walled off. But if the opponent is a Terran player, then suddenly your wall off becomes a liability because it's so easy for siege tanks to pick off buildings at the top of the ramp.
And this, I do believe this is our first time seeing Terran vs. Terran tonight. Yes,
usually-
because Chompy just had that great run. And Timon sending that early scout, of course, wanting to see what race his opponent is.
Very good decision there. Gotta send an early scout against a random player. You need to figure out what strategy you want to use, and also, if they are cheesing, you can usually scout it really early on, because instead of looking in all the little nooks and crannies of the map, you just go to their base and you say, alright, is there a production structure in their base? Yes, there is. There's the barracks. I am happy there is no cheese.
Cheese never fun to deal with on short distance maps because it can go up before. I've seen cheese start before I can get a gateway down. It goes up very quickly.
Funny thing about cheese is that, I mean, you hate to receive cheese, but it is so much fun to watch cheese.
Very, very true.
The players, they gotta be on their feet, they gotta think on the fly, they gotta figure out what they want to do. Suddenly their well-rehearsed strategies are just thrown out the window, and it's all on the fly. Panda's barracks finishing up, Timon's barracks finishing up. Totally standard play by both players so far. Panda actually delaying his orbital command just a little bit to throw down his supply depot first. I think that's a mistake. You don't need the supply depot that quickly. I think maybe he is just not
Especially
really
when he's
well
not really
refined
building
with his
anything
current
from
build
that
order, and
barracks.
he doesn't quite know that. Interestingly, we have a second refinery going down before a factory. I'm not sure what that means. Like, what unit could you need that requires that much gas before you start your factory?
Panda picking up the Zelniga watchtower, and it looks like this SCV is going to show up to try and take it from him, but he's going to be chased off.
Yeah, I really think he must be going for a very quick Banshee to get that cloak research right away. You do need a lot of gas.
The thing is, if you're going for a fast cloaked Banshee, you can get enough gas for it just by beginning your gas right after your factory.
And Panda does accidentally put puts four workers on his left gas there. Just a mistake. He's not used to playing Terran where it automatically goes and starts mining.
Panda's going to be really far behind in the mineral count. I mean, having 2 gas up and 4 SCVs on one of the gas, that means he has 4 SCVs less than the opponent mining. Although now that Timon has his second gas up, it's not that big of a difference. But in my play,
Yep, starport is going up.
That's going to get scanned right on time.
very nice. Now Panda could try and be sneaky, wait for the scan to finish, and then cancel the starport. I've seen some players do that. It's always fun to mess with a player's head like that.
Panda not getting any kind of add-on on his barracks either. No tech lab.
I think he swapped the tech lab from his barracks onto the factory, and he began the siege tank and his siege very fast.
That would be a good move in TVT.
Actually, I think that's a kind of a strange move, because in TVT, if you have tanks and you're against an opponent, really early on, before you have 3 or 4 tanks, siege mode just is not that effective in really small numbers. I've always found it to be more effective to get a bunch of tanks first and then start your siege mode. So getting that siege so fast is going to delay his tanks significantly. We can see now he just doesn't have the minerals or the gas right now to start his second tank.
That's true. Panda getting medevacs instead of going for the Banshee build.
Using another scan. That is so many scans from Timon. I think we've seen at least 2, meaning that Panda is going to have a 600 mineral lead on Timon.
And Panda now making a Thor, so very interesting build we've seen from him. Want to see how this plays out.
He's got a handful of Marines and a tank and an SCV. Panda actually moving out with 6 Marines at a medevac, and unfortunately he walks straight into
Ooh,
and
Viking
now,
comes
oh
out.
no! Oh, the medevac gets taken out with 1 Marine, and all the Marines go down. And you know what? Right there, we're seeing the effects of the patch nerfing the speed of the medevac. Normally, the medevac would be able to get away from the Marines, but because the medevacs have been slowed now, the Marines were able to take out the medevac really quickly.
And the Viking being in play didn't help at all either. Viking now spotting for the siege tank.
Oh, Thor comes out, and that sweet-looking Thor, because he can purchase the Collector's Edition. Timon moving forward, but that Thor just comes out just in time to hold off this aggression. Timon sees the Thor and immediately pulls back. Now, if it were a normal Thor that didn't have wings, he'd probably push in, but that winged Thor is just so ferocious, you've got to pull back.
Yep, Collector's Edition is imbalanced.
Nerf Collector's Edition.
Exactly. Rich people win again, as usual.
Timon now going into... Oh, he was going Tank Viking, throwing down a reactor on a starport, but I think he saw the Thor and he said, screw that, and he got him throwing down 2 more barracks, so gonna see some heavy bio play from him.
And it looks like Panda bringing some SCVs out to assist this Thor.
Oh, that
Thor's
so
almost
cool.
Thor's very difficult to destroy when they've got SCVs repairing them.
I'm curious to see what Panda's going to use these medevacs for. I think maybe he has a drop in mind. I mean, he was going for it before and the drop got shut down. Maybe he could just be very persistent and say, I will drop these Marines, so we'll see what happens. Timon now moving out his command center, claiming his expansion. He's actually going to get that up way before Panda gets his expansion up. He's just now beginning his command center. So that means Timon's going to have a pretty advantage macro lead. Not to mention Panda's also supply blocked, so he's not going to be able to pump out that many units for quite a while. Oh,
And Panda also getting an extra factory. Not really sure why he's putting that up. His one factory is getting out onto the Thor, but he really should be looking to expand, and he sees his command center going down.
Over here on the left side of the map, we have a cute little confrontation between an SCV and a Marine. That SCV, if he knew how close he was to death, he would not be chilling so nicely. Oh, and Panda moves his Marine
there it
forward,
comes.
and the SCV panics, runs into a corner, which of course is the safest route, and it goes down.
Yeah, getting trapped in a corner up against a Marine, not the smartest of ideas.
Panda's macro slipping up a little bit. He's not producing out of his 2 of his barracks or his factory, throwing down an engineering bay and accumulating a good bit of minerals.
Actually, none of his barracks producing now, and only one of his factories, his starport, not working. Looks like he's slipping off the unit advantage. He was fairly even, but that looks like it's going to be going away.
Oh, these 2 Vikings might get sniped off here. Yeah.
Those Thors doing so much
That's a lot of
damage.
minerals there. Each Viking 150 minerals. I mean, 300 minerals. That could be like a bunch of Marines.
Yeah, not sure why he just had them chilling out there in land mode. They're a lot, more mobile in the air. A lot safer to keep them that way.
Look at this.
Yeah, they
Panda
won't.
does a scan. He
They won't
sees
pick up
Timon's
that
siege
Zelnaga
tanks.
tower.
And I think
Yeah.
Panda is just going to take
Oh,
advantage
that is
of
true.
how immobile these siege tanks are. Now he's moving forward on the back of Timon's base with 5 Marines in a drop. 5 Marines can't do too much damage if Timon reacts in time, but will he react in time? And here we go, the medevac's going for a drop. All the Marines right on the SCVs, all the SCVs hold off the line down towards the expansion.
See
This
2
actually
Vikings
has
coming in to
skill.
try to assist.
Panda says bleh. Vikings come forward to take out the medevac, so he's not going to be able to retreat very easily. Doing all the damage he can with these Marines, but standing with a couple SCVs and here comes Timon's bio forces to handle the Marines.
He did deny a lot of mining time, though, and he is now moving in with his main force to the front, but the siege tanks, he's going to have to move back.
He did also manage to pick off a few workers, not too many, but a few gas miners did manage to get destroyed in that raid.
It was a good deal of mining time lost. I think I would call that a successful drop.
I gotta say, Panda has a terrifying amount of Thors. He has 4. What I really like to see him do is just move the Thors and the medevacs up towards Timon's base and just elevator of them up to the top. And that way he doesn't have to deal with the siege tanks. All he has to deal with is the Marauders and the Marines. And I mean, when you have that many Thors, I think you can handle that group of Marauders, even though Marauders are the counters to Thors.
Yeah, the Thors being immune to the Marauder's concussive shell because they are a massive unit. so they cannot be kited by the smaller units, even with speed. Or with speed they can, but then then they're sacrificing their health for it, and the Thors just do too much damage.
Timon is not moving out. He does know about that bunker, so he said, okay, cool, you have a bunker there. I'm just going to go around it. And it looks like he's just going straight toward Panda's base. Panda is totally out of position. He has no idea this attack is coming. He's got one SCV that's going to see the Vikings. He's got one Thor that's rallied to the rest of his army. And now he's going to have the attacks going to fire. He knows the force is coming. He's got to pull all his forces back. And yes, he says, no, screw that. I'm going straight into the opponent's base.
He's going for the base trade.
Oh, we've got to see a base trade here. Oh, the Marauders stim up. So many Marines go down. Command gotta go down. He could try to lift it off and delay it, but he doesn't in time.
Panda not moving in.
Yeah, Panda being very indecisive there, delaying for more than he should, but now he has moved in.
He's got to move quick here. Timon's force is actually just sitting still. Now he's choosing to go into Panda's base. He's going to do a lot of damage here. Panda really doesn't have much to defend here, so it is absolutely going to be a base trade. Oh, he's supply blocked again, so he's not going to be building reinforcements. Actually, loading up a weakened Thor going straight into Timon's base.
I would like to see some mules drop to repair these Thors. He should have more SCVs with them, I think. And just taking that Thor up again.
We can say both the bases are just going to get crushed, but I think Panda is just moving a little bit too slowly. And not to mention, Timon has Vikings, Panda does not. So that means when it gets to the point where players are just lifting off their units, Timon is going to be able to hunt down any floating buildings.
Very good point you make there.
You're going to have an easier job of that. This particular map.
Yeah,
Panda
just...
I have all my forces at your base. I'm going to build a command center here. That's a very nice move by him.
Oh, one Thor does go down.
One of the things with the Thors, though, is they do have an extremely long anti-air distance. So if there is a floating building to take care of, I believe on this map there's not enough room for it to really get completely out of range of these Thors.
So Timon did wipe out Panda's base way faster than Panda's wiping out Timon's base, but Panda is setting up this expansion right here. So what we're going to see is Timon has to come back and try and wipe out this expansion, and I think that Timon's forces just outnumber Panda's, even though he has 4 Thors, but I mean, the Thors are just going to go down, and I think, yeah, we're going to see Timon take this game.
The SCV's going in to repair those Thors. But,
Timon did leave the armory alive. Not sure if that's a mistake or not, but he's bringing his army back now. Panda does have that one armory.
I mean, Panda could try and build a command center back in his normal base. He has a bunch of SCVs there, but at that point, it's really just delaying. It would be very bad-mannered.
Yeah. He's now lifting this command center.
Here we go.
Timon does have Vikings to spot for these siege tanks.
Panda does have a slight position advantage on top of the ramp, but I mean, he has the Vikings to be able to spot the siege tanks sieging up. Wisely, Panda pulls back so not getting siege splash damage. Timon lose for the Marauders, and oh man, those Thors just go down so fast. Panda left with no units.